Make sure we're all standing up nice and straight. Oh, look, they're here.
Oh, yeah, sorry, we were just cleaning house for a second with our environment of just backdrop and bobbleheads. So I do believe it is time to draw.
Oh, well, allow me.
Yes. Thank you, because it's so hard to do two things at once. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, such a colorful array here. All right, what classic actor would you pair with a modern actor?
Ooh, I love playing this game. I'm so excited.
This might be a little difficult. I know a lot of classic actors, but it's the modern ones I have trouble with.
That's where my brain kicks in.
So tune in for Charity and Her Brain. Coming up next. Hey everybody, it's Sarah.
And it's Charity.
And welcome to Bobbleheads on the Dash. So we have a really interesting, really unique topic about, matching some classic movie stars to some modern day movie stars. So I'm kind of curious how this one's gonna go. But
I think I've got some good ones in my head brewing already.
I've got some. I don't know how good they're gonna be. But we'll see what happens.
Some. This is the most vague. I have stuff and things.
Well, as the show goes along, it'll be up to you to be like, that was great, or how the heck did you come up with that?
Are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
You're cotton picking mind?
But before we get into our cotton picking minds,
yes.
You gotta like and subscribe, notification bell, the typical YouTube protocol that we're supposed to do. And
here's
also,
the thing, if you guys just do this naturally, we can skip this part.
Yeah.
Skip the housekeeping. Y'all know to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yeah.
Y'all know to look up We Harmon Sisters and Bobbleheads on the Dash and all the wonderful things that we do.
So we won't even talk about it.
We won't mention this again, probably not until the next episode.
Yeah.
Oh! You ruined it! You had one job! Can't take you anywhere.
It's okay.
Please enjoy the music.
No, I was so passionate that gravity took over and knocked over the books. But since we did knock them over, this gives me a chance to show off what these books are.
I have them so displayed perfectly and nicely. Okay, so tell us what these books are.
So since we are talking about...
I'm nervous. I'm going to have you stand next to me.
Oh, okay.
Before you knock your own head off with the book.
Yeah, take a look at this bobblehead, Sarah. You'll never see this again. So I actually have two books. They are from Turner Classic Movies, if you've ever heard of that channel. So the first one here...
Turner Classic Movies.
I know, that sounds so familiar. Where have I heard those letters before? If by chance you don't know what Turner Classic Movies is, or are, I guess it's a bit of both.
And will forevermore shall be.
It is an entity all its own. It started out as just a channel that played old classic films, but it has grown a really big following over the past, 30 plus years. And they have all kind of cool merchandising and stuff too, as well as books. So the first book you see here is The Leading Ladies. So you might see a few familiar faces here, like Jean Harlow and Katharine Hepburn, and the like. And the rest are here on Gilligan's Island. But it's actually a really fun thing to just kind of to thumb through. There's some really great pictures.
Doris Day.
Cool. I have to land on Doris
Isn't
Day.
that perfect pillow talk? I love that.
But there's some really great pictures in here, which you'll definitely like. And of course, got to get to the leading men, of course, the very handsome, dashing.
I see Bob Hope.
Oh, we got that. We got some Cary Grant, Jimmy Stewart, Clark Gable.
We got all of my favorites.
Yeah, so
this is like, okay, on Valentine's Day when you get
the heartthrobs.
Well, when you get a box of chocolates and you're like picking, you're like, ooh, I like this and I like this, and before you know it, all the chocolates are gone. Like this, I'm like, I'll take a Jimmy Stewart, and I'll take a Cary Grant and a Humphrey Bogart, and then before you know it, all your chocolate's gone.
Yeah, speaking of Bob Hope,
that's what I'm saying. I said Bob Hope.
Very dashing picture.
Young Bob Hope. Look at his little half innocent eyes, half smolder. It's just kind of like, who, me?
Good
Bob
old
Hope? Mr. Leslie Towns Hope?
Leslie Towns Hope. Very British name for the all-American boy. But there's some great pictures here. Oh, okay.
Look at that. Okay, we did not plan this at all. Look at that.
So since we had Doris Day in the Leading Ladies book, it's nice to have Rock Hudson kind of join leading men in the book. So honestly,
it was meant to be.
It was meant to
books
be.
Just felt open to the middle.
So there's some great pictures and some great leading men in here. So I just wanted to show off these books since we're going to be talking about classic Hollywood stars.
Also, we're not sponsored by TCM at all, but I happen to have a TCM book as well because it's just a perfect place to get merch. And I'm going to put you back on your side.
We got move Bobblehead Charity over here because of the dangers. You know what? I'm just gonna keep it.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna keep both of us here because you obviously can't be trusted.
I'm trying to be careful with it.
You're
It's
like,
tough heavy.
You're knocking everything over.
Okay. Anyway.
So I have a Turner Classic Movies book as well. This is a Christmas edition. And for those of you who watch White Christmas every year, you'll know this picture. But it's also got some more modern-ish type movies in here too. So even you see in the back, picture of Elf. So this just highlights Christmas in the movies entirely. And I actually bought this when we do our Harmons in Hollywood events at Tallgrass. We'll sometimes give away like a little prize or a little book or something. And I bought this as one of our Christmas giveaways. And obviously I never gave it away because it's still in my possession. So maybe if I find another one, I can do it. But here you've got A Christmas Story, which is a favorite of a lot of people. So here's White Christmas, which we already talked about. Here's The Apartment, which that will be playing later this year at the Orpheum.
Yeah.
And then Die Hard, which is
the ever controversial.
Is it a Christmas movie? Is it not? It will forever go down in history as well, I won't give my opinion. Here's Elf. So there's a chapter on each. There's lots of great pictures. Holiday Inn. So like I said, I originally bought this to give away. But this is going to stay on my shelf. I mean, I can't get rid of this. Look at this precious little picture. Miracle on 34. Like, no, this is mine. And forevermore shall be.
Evermore shall be.
But okay, do you want to travel back to your side?
You know what? Once and for all, because I'm on a mission. This thing, these books are gonna stay standing for the remainder of this episode. It might not look pretty, but they'll be, by George, they'll be standing
I'll never go hungry again.
Yeah. Vivian Lee, one of the leading ladies in the book.
Yes, not a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about Christmas anyway. Do you want just the books on your side, and I'll have the Bobbleheads on my side? You want to do that?
That's true. I want to be top heavy for once. I want to have.
With your big old head, you're always top heavy. Okay, let's get back on topic now that we have set the display our front department store window here.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Let's Talk Shop, new documentary coming to not to theaters.
Coming to select film festival theaters at some point
in Wichita, Kansas, near you. Anyway, so today's topic is a fun one. And this is one of those games that I feel like you either play on a road trip or sometimes I quiz myself, maybe from driving even to work, not even a long road trip. And I'll try to see if I compare, if I were going to make a movie, if I would pair a classic movie actor with someone still living. And that's always fun to think like, okay, what scenario? Would it be a rom-com? Would it be a film noir? So do you want to go first?
I guess I can go first. I will say, for those of you who care, when we were first starting to do Bobbleheads on the Dash, we were trying to do this about a year ago. And this was actually the very first topic we talked about. And it went down horribly. If
at first you don't succeed, wait a year and try again.
Very important words to live by. Okay, I'll be interesting. So like I said at the beginning, I decided to be really random with mine. So some of them I think kind of fits, but I wanted to figure out if I could push myself just because I feel like I'm very limited in terms of like a lot of maybe modern actors that I know. I know like the obvious ones, that have been around for, decades.
You don't have to give a preamble. We know.
All right.
We know you.
All right. You asked for it and you're going to get it. Okay, I'll start with something kind of random, but I think it'll work. So one of my favorite comedians, I have a lot, but I really like Groucho Marx. So if you like the Marx Brothers, you would like it. I think if Groucho was still alive he needs a new Margaret Dumont, who is basically like the straight man for the Marx Brothers.
Okay.
So I thought that maybe Groucho, had he still been alive, he could be paired up with either Judi Dench or Julie Andrews. I think in terms of a Margaret Dumont character, because both of them could be very funny.
Okay,
but I think they can also play off well, being almost in a serious but exaggerated.
I would lean heavier on Judi Dench.
Maybe more Judi Dench.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I even thought Maggie Smith for a bit, but I think that Judi Dench and Julie Andrews, I think both of them can do that. I think they could react pretty well. They could bounce off Groucho pretty good.
I feel like, okay, so going with that, I feel like Tina Fey could be with Groucho as well. Because I feel like she could do that straight-faced, like, she would still be funny, but she doesn't have to be, like, overly funny. Like, I feel like she could play that role pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, play the serious, funny role.
Okay. So yeah, she'd probably be the straight man as well for that. Yeah, because I was, like, just thinking about the Marx Brothers, like, Margaret Dumont, she was always very prim and proper. And so I was thinking, like, that could work too. But then sometimes she can kind of give herself to being zany or being the butt of a joke or something like that. That's part of the reason why I picked the two of them, just because I feel like just in passings I've seen of them, they could probably do that as well.
Okay, so let's make a scenario we put those three together. So let's say Tina Fey is moving to England to move in with her estranged aunt.
Oh,
Judi Dench.
Okay.
And then Groucho.
Groucho would have to be either
like an old ex of the aunt.
Yeah, it would be like a suitor, or it would be the person, like, let's say they're moving, so maybe he'd be the person, like the realtor, getting, like, helping them buy the house. It would be because Groucho always kind of plays like a very inept manager.
But he needs like a regular role. So I feel like he would play Judi Dench's ex-husband. So that gives them that riff where they always have to be arguing. Because Judi Dench, I think, could hold her own against Groucho if they were doing a battle of wits and words.
Oh, okay.
So I think Groucho Marx would be Judi Dench's ex. And then Tina Fey flies over to England to move in with her estranged aunt. Okay. And so she kind of has to play... kind of referee between them. Yeah. So she still has some comedy roles, but she's trying to, like, calm them down, you know.
But then Groucho, even though he's an ex, he's not fond of her current fiance boyfriend. It's basically the Philadelphia Story with Groucho Marx. So who would play Tina Fey's boyfriend then? No, I'm talking about Judi Dench. Like, if Groucho is the ex, he's not impressed with her current suitor.
Okay.
So he would try to do something to show the other guy's bad side or something. Oh, who would it be?
Ernie Wise.
You know what's funny is I really haven't put a lot of British stars in that. Ooh.
Then Rob Brydon could date Tina Fey, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, what a interesting...
I know, it's such a weird cast.
So we got...
Because then he could do his Ronnie Corbett impressions for Tina Fey.
With Ernie Wise, so it had to be like Ronnie Corbett as
maybe Ernie Wise gets mad because he's always doing Ronnie Barker or Ronnie Corbett impressions. And he's like, wait, what about me? Okay. Leave it all.
For the American viewers out there, you probably have no clue of some of the people we talked about.
Why don't you break down all the British actors we've mentioned?
Well, I mean, the only...
Okay, Ronnie Corbett.
Ronnie Corbett was part of a double act called The Two Ronnies, but he's also a very short guy, so you have room for short jokes.
Okay, so that's The Two Ronnies, and then we mentioned Ernie Wise.
And then Ernie Wise, another double act that's very short, that leads into a lot of little short people jokes.
Okay, I didn't know we were leading into a pattern here.
Yeah, and then apparently Rob Brydon, if you watch What I Like to You, they make fun of his height. So apparently we
just like short British men.
So apparently it's just...
But I think of the two, he's probably, or of the three, I think he's
probably the tallest.
Between Ronnie Corbett and Ernie Wise.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about British comedies in another episode. I love how that trail.
We'll explain all this later.
So that was my random pairing. So Groucho Marx. I guess I said Julie Andrews at first, but let's do Groucho Marx and Judi Dench. That's kind of my pairing.
Okay. You had like notes and stuff with yours. Okay, so
the notes is just their people's names. I didn't put in like according to 1931 backstory.
Okay. So mine would be Gene Kelly and Dule Hill.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to watch them dance together. That would just be glorious.
Well, and Gene Kelly danced with the Nicholas brothers and the Pirate.
And the Pirate, yeah. So, like, that would kind of be like a meshing of two worlds. Oh!
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if, like, we can AI this. Or we get Dule Hill and Gene Kelly together in a musical.
Yeah, if Gene Kelly can dance with Jerry the Mouse, then surely Dule Hill can dance with Gene Kelly.
Yes, that was before AI, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could totally make that
and
happen.
they could do Be a Clown, so we'll just do that.
Oh, that'd be kind of cute.
Be a clown.
Actually, wouldn't it be kind of fun if they did Heavenly Music? I think that would be kind of cute too. That's Heavenly Music to me.
They have these really big feet now. Okay, that would be fun. I can see that. I can totally see that.
Yeah. And I think he could keep up, because Gene Kelly, I mean, I think any dancer has to be athletic in order to do what they can do.
Yeah.
But
to choreograph it too.
Yeah. And to be able to dance and make it look effortless. Like, you know, obviously Fred Astaire did that, Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor. You know, there are some people who were just masters of their craft. Yeah. And so when they picked a partner to dance with, they either had to tone it down to match their level so that they both looked good. Mm-hmm. But when you had a good dancer, like if we're doing Singing in the Rain, Donald O'Connor and Gene Kelly.
That means they could do Moses Supposes. Yeah. So Gene Kelly and Dule Hill could do Moses. That would be cool.
I think they could both match each other's energy to where they wouldn't have to downplay it. I think Dule Hill could dance with Gene Kelly.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And they could do like really cool athletic things.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, because Gene was very athletic. Oh, man. Mm-hmm. So you have two athletic tap dancers. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm having. I'm like, oh yeah.
Wipe that drool from your chin.
No, that's a.
Yes, so that is my pairing.
That's good. That's really good. This one might be a bit interesting anyway, but I think we can have the two Anthonys. So I thought Anthony Perkins and Anthony Hopkins.
Ooh.
Because they both can play creepy people very well. But I'm kind of curious, you know, we have, you know, you have Silence of the Lambs meets Psycho. I'm kind of curious, like, how the heck would you do that? But I'm like...
Silence of the Psycho Lambs.
Psycho Lambs?
Okay. I don't even know why. Let's cut that part out.
No. Because that could be a great title. The Psycho Lambs. That was good. This also shows how much we're into horror. Enough to make a stupid joke like that. But I thought that would be interesting.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's a weird dynamic that maybe given the right script, it could work. Okay, so put together a film. So what would be their role? And then we can toss in a few guest stars. I'm kind of curious if maybe Anthony Hopkins... Well, maybe Anthony Perkins will be the son to Hopkins. Or maybe grandson.
So
depending on how the age works.
We're making a Hitchcock film, so we need a blonde.
We do need a blonde.
Do we need a classic blonde, or do we want a current blonde?
Well, you probably know more current blondes than I do classic blondes.
Amanda Seyfried.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like she's got that, like, doe-eyed look.
Okay.
So, but I feel like she could, you know, be with Anthony Perkins.
Okay.
But then at some point at the end, she would turn and, you know, she would end up being the bad guy.
Oh, she'd be the one with the knife while Anthony Perkins is taking a shower.
Oh, the roles are switched.
The tables have turned. Yeah, like I said, I was... That's part of the reason why I was thinking, I was like, that'd be kind of interesting. Now, I know usually you kind of have to have, like, opposites, but I'm kind of curious if you were to have two people that are known for playing kind of weird roles, how would it work if they were kind of matched together? So, so maybe it would be kind of some kind of suspense. It would be some kind of Hitchcockian type film. So, but I can I guess, and I feel like for this, it would still need to be shot in black and white.
For sure.
I think the black and white definitely lends to that creepiness and the suspense to it.
You got to get all the shadows and all the lighting and stuff for sure.
Yeah. So Psycho Lambs coming to a theater near you at some point.
Okay.
It's only a movie.
Good evening.
Good evening. Psycho Lambs.
Okay, I'll get to my second one.
Okay, good.
This one is referencing a specific movie. So in 2003, there's a movie called Duplex with Ben Stiller and Drew Barrymore.
Oh, yes, yes.
I think if you took out Ben Stiller and you could drop in Jack Lemmon.
So it's The Apartment, but creepier.
Well, that movie's not creepy.
Well, I mean, it's the fact that eventually they're trying to kill the woman or get rid of her, and they can't, right? That's Duplex.
There's an old lady upstairs who basically does this, like, sweet old lady routine. Mm-hmm. But she also, like, she's really loud. She plays her music loud. She has them, like, running errands for her. And, you know, they are having a hard time living in the apartment.
Okay, I thought it escalated to the fact it's, like, the only way we can have this place ourselves so we get, because I think she's in the contract, she's in the lease.
Maybe.
Like, in order for them...
It's from 2003, so it's been over 20 years.
It's been a bit. Well, the others I say recent, it's probably been about 8 or 9 years. I used to work at a TV station, and we actually played that, and that was my first time seeing it. And yeah, it's one of those that starts out really pleasant, but it takes a very dark turn.
But I think Jack Lemmon could do that, because there are some really funny parts in the movie. Yeah. And so I think Jack Lemmon can obviously do comedy very well. I mean, we saw in Some Like It Hot him dressed as a woman with the maraca scene. It's probably like one of my favorite scenes in the film. Yeah. But he can also do serious stuff too.
Yeah, he can definitely do both.
So I think because he has that talent to be able to go back and forth. But I would still keep Drew Barrymore. Because I think she's a cute pairing with him, with Jack Lemmon.
So she'd be like a modern Shirley MacLaine. She could kind of that role.
Oh,
okay, I can see that. So yeah, you keep Drew Barrymore, have Jack Lemmon.
I think that'd be cute, and I think the poster would be kind of cool too with Jack Lemmon and Drew Barrymore. Yeah.
So it basically would be that film.
Yeah.
With Jack Lemmon.
Now who would we get as the old lady? Would we get like Betty White or?
You gotta get someone. Una Merkel.
Oh, I think I peaked the microphone.
That's a very specific reference. If you're a TCM fan, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Like, maybe older Una Merkel, so maybe like her character in the 1960 Parent Trap. It'd be an older Una Merkel. So she's very cute, very adorable, but you can tell she might have a few skeletons in the closet, like literal skeletons in her closet. You know. That's the only old one I can think of. I'm trying to think of another older woman from back then that could probably...
Yeah, see, this is your field here.
In terms of older women? Well, okay, I was going to say an older Lauren Bacall, but I wouldn't trust her as far as I could throw her. No. I'd be like, oh, you're the one living in the house? You know what? I think we'll go ahead and go down the street a bit, because I know she would have something going on there. Betty Davis, an older Betty Davis?
Yeah, if we do an episode later on, like, favorite leading ladies, Lauren Bacall... Chef's kiss. Okay, anyway.
But I like the idea of remaking Duplex with Jack Lemmon. That's a good choice. Kind of along those lines of Jack Lemmon. Okay, work with me here. Okay, I'm gonna...
You've done a preamble leading up to everyone, and so now I'm all, like, tense. Like, what are you about to say?
Okay, so I had... Even though it not as zany... Well, Charity's was pretty good, but I had Jerry Lewis and Amy Adams.
Huh.
Because I was also thinking of a partial... It'd be kind of a remake for... Harmons of Hollywood recently did a showing of a movie called Who's Minding the Store, which is a Jerry Lewis movie, basically hijinks in a department store. I feel like we could still keep Jerry Lewis, but Amy Adams would be the love interest.
Okay.
Because I feel like her character, she could play very charming, but she could also be a little quirky too. And that could probably work with the extreme ridiculousness that goes on in that store.
And the mother-in-law is who? B. Arthur?
Oh. B. Arthur.
Or is that too...
That might be, I don't know, is that too extreme?
I mean, we could go with an older Lucille Ball.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say Elizabeth Taylor, but I think Lucille Ball could probably work because you have a redhead and a redhead. Mm-hmm. So maybe so a Lucille Ball taking a more
older Lucille Ball.
Oh, Lucille Ball taking a more like comedic but villainous approach.
Yeah, like the straight shooter. Like I feel like she could do that. Rosalind Russell, I probably could. Rosalind
Russell. She might be a better choice actually. Okay. Than Lucille Ball. Okay, yeah, I could see that.
Before we end, I want us to do a random one. So what you're gonna do?
Let me just list off a bunch.
No. Put the phone down. This is gonna be off the top of your head.
Okay.
So you are going to list a classic male actor who's the leading man. I am going to name a current female actress. We're gonna say it at the same time, and then once we reveal it, we're gonna have to come up with a movie scenario.
Oh goodness.
No, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Okay, so give you a minute. Do you have one? I have a current female actress.
I mean, I can think of a classic male that I already had one when you first said.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1.
Anne
Hathaway. Oh. Okay, which era of Cary Grant?
Which era? Ooh.
Is this like Bringing Up Baby? Is this
for Anne Hathaway?
Is this North by Northwest? What are we?
I would probably do a North by Northwest. So like mid to late 50s Cary Grant when he was like at his peak handsomeness. Yeah, so I would say North by Northwest Cary Grant.
Okay, so North by Northwest Cary Grant with Anne Hathaway.
But which era Anne Hathaway? Wouldn't be.
I'm not gonna do Princess Diaries. That's too young.
That's too young.
Let's do.
Get Smart.
I was gonna go Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, okay.
Not to switch movies, but Charade with Audrey Hepburn.
Anne Hathaway would play.
Anne Hathaway could be Audrey Hepburn's
role,
and then we'll put Cary Grant into the Charade scenario.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I can see that.
Yeah, I like that. Cool. That was a lot easier than I thought. I thought you were gonna go way off the deep end.
Well, as soon as you said that, I was like, I'm just gonna stick with.
I thought you were gonna be like W.C. Fields. Like I wasn't sure where we were gonna go.
Who modern would team up with someone like W.C. Fields?
W.C. Fields.
You would have to have somebody like Mae West, who did do a movie with W.C. Fields. So you have to think like a modern Mae West. But I don't know if there really is one. But because W.C. Fields, he was definitely like a force to be reckoned with. You got to be able to match wits with him. What modern woman? Actually, it could be a guy though. This could be like a buddy film. So what?
Well, I feel like if you're doing a buddy film, then it have to be opposite. So you have someone opposite W.C. Fields who. So you would need someone that's more goofy,
or more. See, the W.C. I feel like he's very specific.
Well, no, that's what makes it a challenge. Okay, so we're looking for someone who's like extremely goofy,
or someone
do you want like a Steve Carell?
Steve Carell and W.C. Fields.
Because he could play the goofy type of character.
Yeah. I was also thinking Ben Stiller, since we can take Ben Stiller we can rip him off from Duplex.
Actually, let's do Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson together with W.C. Fields.
Well, so you have like your Zoolander characters.
Well, I mean that or like
Night at the Museum. So you have.
I mean they did so many movies together.
Yeah.
I think what would be funny though is if for some reason this is classic like between the 70s even to the 2000s they have to go on a road trip somewhere, right? And so maybe W.C. Fields is the one who's driving, like he's kind of in charge of the trip, and then you've got Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson, like younger versions of them, like in the backseat. It's like was it Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? Like that type of goofiness.
So W.C. Fields is the one, he basically ruins the trip in every way. Maybe in that case he'd be like their agent or something. He's like, don't worry, I got it all figured out, with that. my W.C. goes, don't worry, Charity, I got it all figured out. That's the closest to W.C. Fields that I can do. I don't know if that's a mix. I have no clue. That's the closest W.C. Fields. I've never had reason to do W.C. Fields, and it definitely shows.
Okay,
something like that.
I like the three of them together. I think that would be kind of funny.
So in terms of like romance, I have put Elizabeth Taylor with Benedict Cumberbatch. It's weird in maybe any other scenario, but somehow in that universe of maybe the script, it could work, but only in a very specific
What if you
situation.
pair Benedict Cumberbatch with Lauren Bacall?
I can see him in a noirish.
Put your lips together
and blow. Yeah. Okay, I can see him. Okay, I just picture him in a pinstripe suit like Bogey and a fedora.
I like that.
It still needs to be in black and white. Still needs to be noir.
Oh, for sure.
So he's still playing detective, not Sherlock, of course, but it's still noir.
Double Indemnity, but Benedict Cumberbatch instead of
Fred McMurray.
Yeah.
Oh, I can totally see that.
Yeah. Oh.
He'll definitely have to work on that American accent some more, but I think Or just
don't do American accent.
Just keep him British.
No, he's got a beautiful accent. Don't change him.
Just
have
make him
him
English.
British with Barbara Stanwyck.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. So he can he'll substitute the Fred McMurray role. Yeah, he can totally do that.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we got time for one more. Give me one last big one. Surprise me.
Okay, I had Elvis Presley and Liza Minnelli.
Ooh.
Both big powerhouses of singers, entertainment, and all that. I feel like it's almost like Viva Las Vegas. I feel like she could probably play Anne Margaret's character. They could match each other's energy for sure.
I think that's a good one.
Yeah, like I don't know how that would have worked, and who knows? Maybe at some point that was toyed around in that era, because that seemed like that could have been something that someone had suggested. Obviously, it didn't work, or it never happened, but I almost kind of feel like at some point someone had probably suggested that. In Elvis's Vegas era, when he was performing live doing concerts, that was also the same era that Liza Minnelli was performing, like on Broadway and all that kind of stuff. So as stage performers, oh my gosh, that would have been insane to see. Like, it's one of those things, like, I don't know if the audience could take it. Their heart would have been like, oh my goodness, I can't take both of them together.
So everyone in the audience is going into cardiac arrest.
And they're just sitting there, they're just dancing and singing their hearts out. So, but I just thought that would be an interesting combo.
Okay. Well, I like those combos. If you have any other suggestions, honestly, this could go on forever.
I know.
If you have any other suggestions, I'm very curious to see what the audience would say.
Yeah.
So
how weird were my choices? They were very odd.
Leave us a few comments and some suggestions, because I want to see what you guys think. But thanks so much for listening today, and we'll talk about movies again at some other point. We kind of can't get away from it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! They lasted through the rest of the show. Yay!